Welcome to Political Beatdown. I'm Ben Meiselas, and I'm joined by Michael Cohen, who is in Chicago for the Democratic National Convention. There's Michael Cohen's special guest pass, so everybody can see that he actually is there at the DNC. Michael Cohen, I want to get your first reaction to what took place on day one. Obviously, you had President Biden as the final speaker of the evening, but you had Hillary Clinton, you had AOC, you had
Jamie Raskin,
Jasmine Crockett, Jamie Raskin. I mean, it was superstar after superstar. The level of talent was something that stood out to me. What was your reaction to day one of the DNC?
Stood out to me as well. I didn't see anybody ripping their shirt off. We didn't see anybody, hopping around the stage like Kid Rock, or, like I said, tearing their shirt off like Hulk Hogan, screaming, "Oh yeah, brother, you got to vote for Donald Trump." I mean, theirs was a circus, and this was our government talking to the people and telling them exactly the things that we need to hear from our politicians, policies, reasons why Kamala Harris is the right person for the job, and why Donald Trump is the wrong guy for the job. If we're going to do it off of, say, star, television reality show, yeah, Trump has the lead in that one. But if you really want to talk about guiding this government and ensuring our democratic republic, again, there is no choice here. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, every day of the week and twice on Sunday, beat Donald Trump and Shady Vance. I mean, it's Shady Vance and Von Schützen pants.
As well, one of the DNC versus up about 21%. So people were tuned in because I think one, it was just very well done. Don't you agree, Colin? There was no gaps between speakers, speaker. And they have incredible video, which must have been produced by the producers, because some of those video ads or the shorts were really incredible. And then it kind of built up to President Biden talking. Let me give you just some of my highlights, Cohen. I mean, I think the big moment for me was the moment where Hillary Clinton was up there talking about Donald Trump's 34 felony convictions in a case where you were the main witness, as the entire audience of the DNC is chanting, "Lock him up." I really wish you would have been there for that moment, but I suspect there'll be a moment like that tonight as well. Here, play this clip.
Donald Trump fell asleep at his own trial, and when he woke up, he made his own kind of history. The first person to run for president with 34 felony convictions. As Vice President, Kamala sat in the Situation Room.
Cohen, your reaction.
She's classy. She's a much classier person, clearly, than he is. First of all, I think she looks terrific. And I thought her speech nailed it. I don't think I wish that this was the Hillary Clinton that we saw, in hindsight, in 2016. She looked good. She sounded good. She was right on it. And you know what? I actually even give her more respect right now. She could have easily I could not have held back. And then again, that's just me. I could not have held back. I would have gone on it, lock him up. The motherfucker should have been locked up months ago, years ago. But instead, she was classy. She was elegant. She was sophisticated. She did not engage. She smiled about it. Everybody knew what she was thinking. Oh, how the tides have turned, my friend. Do you remember how when Donald used to get the crowd chanting, lock her up, it would go on for 3, 4, 5 minutes. These people would just go off on it. Lock her up for what? That's the whole point. Lock her up for what? Here's the interesting thing, something I hope we also talk about. Obviously, you saw the letter that was put in by Donald Trump's attorneys. There was then a response letter that came in yesterday that dealt with the prosecutors not objecting and just allowing Judge Merchan the ultimate decision on whether or not to delay the September 18th sentencing. And I think we need to talk about that because a lot of people are getting it wrong. And here on Midas Touch Network, here on Political Beatdown, or whether it's Meiselas Brothers or Legal AF, or of course my Mea Culpa podcast, we don't get it wrong. We give it to you straight. And I think it's something that we also need to talk about. But yesterday, star-studded across the board, the entire group, it was one after the other. From when I was listening to Jamie Raskin, you were learning about the Constitution. But then again, he is a constitutional law professor. And you start listening to Congresswoman Crockett. She was off the chart great. There was so much humanity involved in everybody's speech instead of the theatrics and the Ringling Brothers sort of circus that Donald Trump was bringing to the RNC, to their convention. It's so different. I mean, it is as different, and the styles are as contrasted as Donald Trump is to Kamala Harris.
How about that AOC speech? Let me share with you that. I thought it was incredible. Let's show the AOC speech right now.
Because we know that Donald Trump would sell this country for $1 if it meant lining his own pockets and greasing the palms of his Wall Street friends. And I, for one, am tired of hearing about how a 2-bit union buster thinks of himself as more of a patriot than the woman who fights every single day to lift working people out from under the boots of greed, trampling on our way of life. The truth is, Don, you cannot love this country if you only fight for the wealthy and big business. To love this country is to fight for its people.
To love the country is to fight for its people.
You know, Ben, I've always admired Alexandria Ocasio, AOC. I've always admired her. I think now my wife may get mad at me. You know, we are going on our 30-year anniversary.
I'm just going to warn you, whatever you're about to say, you don't have to, you could.
I think I could be in love with her. I mean, as she was giving that speech, I got goosebumps. I mean, she's right, except she made one mistake. She made only one mistake in her speech when she said that Donald Trump would sell this country for $1 and line his pockets and his Wall Street friends. That's the only mistake. He doesn't look to help even his Wall Street friends. They think that he is going to help them continue to line their pockets. No, this time around, it's all about him and only him. Everybody else, not even the crumbs. He's going 100% for himself.
Let's talk about President Biden's speech as well. A great deal of humility. There was a point where he said, look, I recognize I've made mistakes for my career, many, but I put it all on the line for you. I'm giving you the best of me that I can give you, and I am gladly passing right now. Let me show right here what President Biden had to say.
Selecting Kamala was the very first decision I made when I became our nominee. And it was the best decision I made my whole career.
let me be very clear about something here. This man, as we like to say in the Jewish tradition, is a true mensch. I mean, he really is. This is a man who put his, talk about a personal sacrifice. How many people here would give up being president of the United States, regardless of the attacks? Oh, he's too old. He's too old. He doesn't look too old. He doesn't look too old. He's not acting too old. The country is doing great. Are there other issues? There's always going to be an issue. You know, it's like, who lives in a house that doesn't have an issue? Everybody has an issue. Fine. He's of age. Here's the thing. He put country over self. He put party over self. Do you really think for a second, for a split second, that Donald Trump would do the same thing? The answer is no. And how do you know that to be an emphatic no? Because when he lost the election, as I had warned the entire country when I testified before the House Oversight Committee in 2019, I turned around and I had said that if Donald Trump loses the election, my biggest fear is that there will never be a peaceful transfer of power. And I was right. I called it over 2 years before anybody else even thought about it. And the shit that I got from the media, from the pundits, oh, he's just hyperbolic, he just hates the guy. Fuck that. I know him better than anybody, and I knew he would never leave. This is not a man that cares about the Constitution, the rule of law, the country. This is a man who went ahead and he showed top secret documents to an Australian businessman, a billionaire, who happens to be a member at Mar-a-Lago, showed him top secret documents talking freely about the number of nuclear warheads on a nuclear submarine that was overseas somewhere. Who does something like that? This man is not just a clear and present danger to this country. He is a clear and present danger to the world. To the world. This is a man who doesn't think twice about how about if he took responsibility for one single thing? Just one. How about if he turned around and he said, you know what? You're right. I have these documents. I have them. I took them. I didn't realize. Let me return them. Not only does he elect not to return them, but he lies and he returns one box and keeps 10. Why? The answer is so that he could feel like he still has power, that he has a bargaining chip, that he could remain in the eyes of certain people important because he has a document that they may want or need, or that would benefit them and also benefit them himself financially. This is really a problem, not just again for the United States. How many times have you heard me say, if you have a strong America, you have a strong world. If you have a weak America, you have a weak world. Donald Trump in the White House in 2024 is not just the end of our democratic republic. To all of those out there that think that Donald Trump is great for Israel, that he's good for the Jewish people, that, you know, that he cares, Kamala doesn't, about Israel and so on and so forth. It's not true. It's not true. Remember that Sheldon Adelson paid him to move the embassy. Plain and simple. And now that Sheldon is deceased and Miriam Adelson, the wife, I don't know, she inherited like what, $12 billion? She's pledged to give $90 or $100 million to Trump's campaign running up and through November. Donald Trump is for sale. Plain and simple. And everybody has to keep spreading that word. You cannot have a president who is for sale and expect that this world will be safe. Elon Musk sees it. All of the Wall Street guys, the John Paulsons, the Howard Lutnicks, they all see it. They look at Donald Trump as a useful idiot. And that is a true term of art that is used in in espionage. He is a useful idiot, and they know that Donald Trump is for sale. The same way that they were selling pardons, this country and the defense of our allies will all be for sale to our adversaries. Whoever lines his pocket, as AOC said so aptly and so passionately, what AOC said was spot on, and good for her. No, Ben, I can't hear you. You're on mute, brother.
One of the things that you and I discussed,
You see, you know what I love most about you, Ben? When I go on my rants, you mute it out so that there's no interruption. You just let me go because, I hate to say it. There's nobody out there that knows Donald Trump better than I. Not Melania and not even his own kids. And when I go on these rants, I'm talking from real personal experience here. So I thank you for giving me the opportunity to
I appreciate you pointing that out, but that really is the underpinning philosophy of this network: is let experts in different subject areas talk. There are areas where I think that I can be helpful when it comes to certain legal issues based on my prior experience as a litigator. But so much of corporate media is you have talking heads who step into spaces where, frankly, they shouldn't be speaking. They may have a certain expertise. They're not well researched, and they are just part of this outrage machine where they're yelling out at each other. And I think one of the things people appreciated about our coverage of the Democratic National Convention is this novel concept, Michael Cohen, is that we just played it through without interruptions. You didn't have talking heads saying what was happening. We just showed what was happening. And so when you were watching this on CNN or MSNBC or ABC or NBC or these other networks, instead of just playing the speeches, they have all of these high-priced correspondents who they pay all this money to. So then they have to justify paying them all this money.
Right.
So they sit around and they just start talking about what's happening. And I think the people want to form opinions themselves. And so people are like, stop it. Just show me the speech versus you telling me if you thought it was a good speech or a bad speech. And, when it comes to exactly what you said, you are a subject matter expert in this area. The one time
like I say, I graduated valedictorian from Trump University.
And just imagine if I were to
shoulder to shoulder with this maniac for over a decade.
And it's useful for our audience to gain that knowledge from you directly in terms of how we plan and how we know what he's going to do next and how we protect, preserve, and defend our democracy, versus if you were on a corporate media show, you'd have someone like me, not me, on the split screen. Michael Cohen, I think that the real issue right here, though, is you're wrong. I think what Donald Trump was trying to say is he was rolling out this economic agenda. The Hannibal Lecter thing, he gets a little carried away sometimes, but that's just, that's him being him. That's who he is. But let's talk about the issues that he was really trying, and it's just shut up.
You have no idea what he's talking about. You see, AOC, 99% of what she said was spot on. And she says it with such passion. Look, unlike most people in America, she was not born with and I hate it when they say that Donald Trump was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He was not. You say, well, what do you mean? Of course he was born. No, it was platinum. His father was much richer going back for dollar per dollar in those days versus now. His father was richer than even what Donald, purported at his 10 billion, which was never real in the first place. Fred Trump was really rich. Donald was born with a platinum spoon in his mouth. AOC was not. And you could feel that passion that's coming through. You can feel it when she is defending Kamala Harris. I love the ad that's out there right now where they talk about Kamala Harris working for McDonald's. Here's an interesting fact. It's 1 out of every 10 Americans, 1 out of every 10 has a family member who had worked for McDonald's at one point in their life. How sick is that? And you know what? Kamala Harris, as a summer job or as an after, she had that type of a job. She understands how hard it is when you're making minimum wage in order to get, to get ahead. And she is for the people. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, they stood on the picket line with the UAW. Donald did not. Donald, you know what Donald did? He screwed all the unions over. How many times in the past have you heard about Donald Trump screwing over union? He did that when he built the Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue. He brought in those Polish workers, and he didn't even pay them properly either. I mean, again, it is so transparent. You just have to know the facts. And that's what I try to present to our brigaders. It's what Midas Touch is, a network. I would never have joined with Ben and Midas Touch if it wasn't going to be this way, where it's truth and only the truth. Not, I think, or in my opinion. Nobody gives a shit about these prognosticators' opinions. It's like my grandpa used to say, it's like it's like an asshole. Everyone's got one. All right. I mean, it's so stupid. I think. Never start out with I think. It's not, when it comes to Donald Trump, there's no such thing as I think. Either you know or you don't. And you know what? Here on Political Beatdown, on this Midas Touch Network, we don't think, we know, and we tell.
And we show, and that's what we're doing tonight. That's what we're going to do tomorrow. It's what we're going to do every day. And I think that's why our coverage of the DNC is one of the leading coverages out there. I want to take a quick break. When we get back, we still have a lot to discuss. Donald Trump significantly down in the latest Fox poll. He's losing his mind because of that. We'll talk a little bit more about the DNC, what everybody can expect this evening. This is Political Beatdown with Ben Meiselas and Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen is at the DNC. I want to remind everyone as well about patreon.com/political beatdown, patreon.com/political beatdown if you want to help financially support the growth of this independent media platform and the show. Also, don't forget about Michael Cohen's YouTube channel at The Michael Cohen Show. They're on their way to about 150,000 subscribers. I think you'll get there today or tomorrow. So if you're not subscribed to at The Michael Cohen Show YouTube channel, it's free. Make sure you subscribe there. Michael Cohen drops new videos every day. Let's take a quick break.
After your laundry is set to permanent press, it's time to give Golden Nugget Online Casino a spin. With hundreds of the most exciting games, Golden Nuggets lets you live it up in your downtime on classic and exclusive slots only found on their online casino. So take a load off while you wait for your load of laundry and say hello to your golden era. And new players can get $77 instantly. So let me say that again, my friends. New players can get $77 instantly in casino site credits. And all you have to do is sign up with code BEATDOwn and deposit just $7 to get $77 in casino site credits. Make any moment golden. Now remember, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. And please play responsibly. 21 plus, physically present in Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia only. It's void in Ontario. One per new customer. Max reward of $77 in site credits that expire in 168 hours. See site for reward playthrough requirements and terms at goldennuggetcasino.com/welcome. It's hot outside, and your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. If you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend that you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA, and they use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so that you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands. And you know what? They feel as nice, if not nicer, than sheets used by some 5-star hotels. Using silver-infused fabrics inspired by NASA, Miracle Made sheets are thermoregulating and designed to keep you at the perfect temperature, again, all night long, no matter the weather, so that you get better sleep every single night. Stop sleeping on bacteria. Bacteria can clog your pores, causing breakouts and acne. I mean, sleep clean with Miracle. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7%. Get a look, 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. So there's no more gross odors too. Go to trymiracle.com/beat to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code BEAT, B-E-A-T, at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save, get a load of this, an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Now upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. And go to trymiracle.com/beat and use the code BEAT to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40%. Again, that's trymiracle.com/beat to treat yourself. And thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. Pulling the slots. You're still on mute. You're still on mute again. Pulling the slots.
Michael Cohen is in Chicago. He will be at the DNC today. He'll be giving us coverage there. Cohen's in the hotel room right now. Cohen, let's talk about this new Fox poll that dropped. The only reason why I'm showing, I don't love talking about polls per se, but when it's a Fox poll that Donald Trump used to post over and over again declaratively to say that he was winning, I think that it has some relevance in that sense. Here's the 2024 vote preference. Vice President Kamala Harris up 6 among likely voters in the latest Fox poll, and that's consistent with what we've seen from New York Times, Siena, where Vice President Kamala Harris is now leading in Arizona and North Carolina, in addition to Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. She's also up 4 in the Morning Consult poll. She's up, usually somewhere between 3 and 5, but mostly all kind of major.
And Ben, before you take this picture down, take a look. Let's put that back up for 1 second and take a look at that bottom corner underneath Donald. What does it say? Up $114.15 as von Schitzenpants is going to continue to sit there and say that the Biden-Harris administration has destroyed our economy. I don't know. Doesn't look like that way to me, does it?
You remember, Cohen, was it about 2 weeks ago or so, or 3 weeks ago or so on the show, we were talking about how Donald Trump was meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu, and we were saying that everybody should know what they're meeting to do. And we were saying that Donald Trump is trying to stop a ceasefire and hostage deal because Donald Trump believes that would be a winning issue for President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. It's the exact, maybe even longer than that, you and I had been saying he's trying to stop the ceasefire actively. And the Miriam Adelson shout out that was given, where a lot was focused there on Donald Trump saying the Medal of Freedom is better than the Medal of Honor. What kind of lied beneath the surface there is that Trump, people like Miriam Adelson and others, are trying to influence the policies of Israel with people like Benjamin Netanyahu there to try to stop the ceasefire from taking place and to try to create and ratchet up situations to create more conflict. It's like you mentioned the economy. Why I'm talking about the Netanyahu situation is that what Donald Trump tried to do 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago was he actually tried to cause a stock market crash. He thought that by posting in all caps and saying, I called it, right now, this is a depression. The stock market is crashing. Panic, 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 exclamation points. He was trying to encourage and move the markets because he believes that's a winning issue for him. Donald Trump has been out there threatening the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Chairman Powell, not to reduce interest rates, because Donald Trump believes if interest rates are reduced, that will harm him. He believes keeping interest rates high are a winning issue for him. Donald Trump killed a bipartisan border deal because Donald Trump believed that having chaos at the border is a winning issue for him. So when James Langford, the Republican from Oklahoma, the senator, negotiated with President Biden in good faith a bipartisan border deal to address all the things that Republicans said they wanted, Trump killed that bill so that he can say, look, there's chaos. Now President Biden had an executive order where border crossings are actually down now less than what they were when Trump was in office or Trump left office. But Biden had to basically go around a bipartisan deal, which is what he wanted to do, issue an executive order, because Trump interfered with the bipartisan border deal. You take these issues, and I remember, because I represented Colin Kaepernick, that Donald Trump was going around telling people that attacking Kaepernick was a winning issue for him. That's the language that Trump used.
You know why he thought that? He thought that because he's a black man. And what he was trying to do, again, it's the same reason why he believed, despite what some people told him, when he went and he started to attack, when he started to attack President Obama and created the whole issue of birtherism. He thought that he was going to be able to make an issue out of Colin Kaepernick being disrespectful to the American flag. And there's nobody, in my opinion, more disrespectful to. You cannot be respectful to the American flag and be disrespectful to the Constitution. I mean, it's just not a possibility. But he was trying to use Colin Kaepernick using race as a way of stoking more support for him. And it was stupid, including the fact that he reached out to a whole series of NFL owners who he knows to try to, pass some rule that, everybody has to stand. You don't have to put your hand on your heart, but everybody has to stand. And they all said, we can't direct somebody. They're there, that they have to be in uniform, that they have to be, but stand, take a knee, hold their hand up in the air. You can't tell somebody what to do. And he was so unhappy with the decision, with the comments that these people made, because again, he thought it was a winning argument for him.
It's so interesting when you think about how you and I right now are united, for the same cause. I mean, it just actually shows how the country actually can be a unifying force, but Donald Trump is the chief divider. Just think about where you and I both were in that time period, in 2017.
But I'll tell you, the difference though is I used to say to Donald all the time, I see no problem with it. I see no problem when Black Lives Matter were walking with their fist in the air. I didn't see an issue when Colin Kaepernick and others were taking a knee. I thought they were making a valid statement. It is not a disrespectful statement. It's a statement that got associated to a cause, and they had every right, as far as I'm concerned, to do it. He didn't like that answer, to be honest with you, but it didn't matter. He was adamant about getting his way. He is like a 4-year-old. He wants to get his way, and he will not stop until he does it. And that's why he's also, I think everybody will acknowledge this, he's an idiot. Does he not understand that the stock market has good days and bad days, that based upon certain indicia, that the market goes up, the market goes down? Okay, you don't generally see 1,000 or 800 point swings. However, one thing that I can tell you, when Trump was president, under his administration, there was like, I think it was like in a 2-month period, there were like 13 or 14 days that exceeded a loss of 500 points per day, and up to over 1,200 points in one given day. Does that mean that the stock market is crashing? Does that mean our economy is doomed? Well, I think the answer to that is no. Look at where we are right now in our GDP. It's why I constantly say the same thing over and over and over. It is important that you listen to what von Schitzenpants says. You have to listen to exactly what it is that he's saying. And then you have to try to put it into context that you could understand and relate to. And then you will see crystal clear. You will see that what he's saying makes no sense at all, that he's actually just a fool.
Cohen, let's take a look at, speaking of being a fool, let's just show you what he's been doing lately, or what J.D. Vance has been doing lately. So you know that at the Trump events, the people have been showing up there with diapers, right? They wear the diapers, they wear the shirts that say convicted felon for Trump. Well, one of the things that they're doing now is they are showing up with J.D. Vance semen samples to mock people who have to go through IVF. And they're trying to say that J.D. Vance does it naturally and he's got strong semen. So they walk around with J.D. Vance family kits. And this is not made up, Cohen. This is actually what's happening at these Trump events. And so as the anonymous account said, come on, they're not weird at all. They just wear diapers for Trump, wear ear tampons for Trump, wear shitty $400 golden Trump shoes, buy the Trump Bible for $60, and carry around J.D. Vance's semen sample. And then also one of the things that Donald Trump was posting about was he posted AI images of Swifties, like not real Swifties, just AI images of people who look like Taylor Swift fans, but these aren't even real human beings. And then he posted a Taylor wants you to vote for Trump AI image, and then all these other Swifties for Trump. And then Donald Trump goes, I accept. So he accepts a fake AI endorsement of Taylor Swift. This guy, Peter Henline, who is posting in this message that's on the screen now, he's a DeSantis supporter, and he goes, LOL, Trump posted a collage of AI-generated Taylor Swift fans wearing Swifties for Trump t-shirts and wrote, I accept, as if this were real. I mean, this is uniquely pathetic, even for Donald Trump. And, you and I point this stuff out. It's, this behavior is part of, when they talk about, Trump derangement syndrome, like this is the stuff that's deranged. Like you, me, other pro-democracy Americans just wanting to, play catch with a family member outside, go see a movie, take a walk on the beach, go to a sports game, just have conversations without dealing with crazy crap like this. That's not deranged. I mean, this stuff right here is uniquely pathetic and uniquely deranged. Have you seen this?
Or the T-shirts that say, real men wear diapers, as as they go to these events wearing,
diapers over dead.
Diapers. I mean, look, there's. Do we need to even respond to the level of stupidity, right? Mocking people who are having fertility issues. First of all, it's not just insensitive. It goes way beyond that. It is weird. It's weird that a woman would sit there and hold up a cup of alleged semen, J.D. Vance semen, thinking that this is in some way normal, that this is proper behavior. It's so absurd. It's so over the top disrespectful. I don't understand the point that they're trying to make. And the thing that really gets me, Ben, is how is it that von Schitzenpants and Shady Vance are still even in the running? Anybody else throughout all of America's history that would do something like this, they would be laughed out of not just Washington, not just Florida, not just New York. They'd be laughed out of the country. They would basically be countryless. Who in their right mind would vote for somebody that wants to attack on Tuesday Taylor Swift, then has somebody create an AI-generated image, which, by the way, Donald and his campaign are going to get sued. There's no doubt in my mind that Taylor Swift is going to bring an action against him for illegal use of her likeness and image in a campaign. There's no doubt about it. You know, I want to share a very quick story with our brigaders. In 2015, I think maybe it was Lewandowski. I may have told this story before. I think it might have been Lewandowski. Under his, at least, reign, they wanted to do an image of Donald Trump and a bald eagle. And they went on to one of these image sites like a Getty image, and they downloaded it, and then they created this ad, which had Trump's face and next to it an American bald eagle with its claws out. And, you know, it's a very common, photo. But that photo belonged to the individual who took the photo. It is his. He owns it, and you have to license the usage of that photo if you're going to use it in a commercial manner. Well, what would have cost the campaign a couple $1,000s at best to license, this man went ahead and he filed an action against the Trump campaign. And I think that the campaign paid out over $175,000. I can only imagine, and that's for a photo of a American bald eagle. Imagine Taylor Swift, one of the 5 probably biggest named music artists, celebrities in the world of all time. I call Taylor Swift the female Elvis Presley of our time. That's just who she is. She is bigger than life. To steal her likeness and image and then to go ahead and to use it as an endorsement in a campaign when she specifically has said that she would never endorse Donald, that she doesn't like him, that she's going to, and she does endorse Kamala Harris. All of a sudden, he's now using this. This is going to be a lawsuit that probably will mirror, and I hope it does, the New York AG case that now has Donald owing the state of New York $500 million. My prediction.
You know, Cohen, though, if it wasn't for Political Beatdown, the Midas Touch Network, shows like this, and a handful of other independent media out there, none of this would be reported on at all. Like the Taylor Swift story, I don't think that got any coverage on corporate media. Or how about this? That Donald Trump post just straight up sexually harassing Vice President Kamala Harris in these videos that he's posting. So this is a video that Donald Trump's posting. They take the lyrics of Alanis Morissette and they change it up. And the song that's being sung is Vice President Kamala Harris getting promotions by going down on her knees. Those are the lyrics of a video that Donald Trump is posting about the leader of the Democratic Party right now, Vice President Kamala Harris, as images like this, like with Willie Brown, show up. And again, this is not covered anywhere. I guess for the corporate media, that's, oh, it's Donald being Donald. We cover it here over and over again at the Midas Touch Network. But what I did see, and I'm sure our viewers and listeners have seen this, is, you know, the corporate media doing all of these like fact checks to try to help Donald Trump at the DNC. They're like, fact check, Donald Trump actually did not say that women should be punished who seek reproductive care. The clip at issue with Chris Matthews is, Donald Trump previously said he didn't mean that after the clip. And it was like, he said it in the clip. He said women should be punished, that he overturned Roe v. Wade, and then he's celebrating overturning Roe v. Wade. So you have fact checkers doing things like that. They have fact checkers who go, Donald Trump never actually said that he would pass over power or transition power peacefully in 2024. Trump said only if he sees that there is no cheating, then he will transfer power. And these are like New York Times fact checkers. So in terms of your question, Cohen, which is, why is it still even within 5 points when you see all of this? It is I think it's because Americans, hardworking Americans, are busy, and they relied on the Fourth Estate to give them data and information.
Ben,
And now when they turn it on, they're getting this versus the reality.
yeah, but okay. Let's just go back for a quick second to that photo that you showed that's put out by Donald Trump on his Untruth Social platform. I want to start by turning around and again, down on her knees. Now, as a girl dad, because I have a daughter and I have a son, if anybody ever said that about my child or about my wife, that she only got to where she got by going down on her knees, we could take that off. By going down on her knees, I don't know how bad of a beating that I would give that individual. I truly don't. It is, to me, the most misogynistic thing that a man can say to a woman, that she only succeeded as a result of performing fellatio or performing a sexual act in order to get ahead. We're not talking about Melania here. We're talking about Kamala Harris, who is a lawyer, who was the DA, an AG, and a senator. And really, that's what you want to say? You know, my daughter went Ivy League. My daughter actually is wickedly brilliant, you know, as is my son. But since we're only talking about the girls here, if somebody ever said that her success is directly a result of her being, you know, a sexual act, performing a sexual act, I don't even know how I would react. I really don't. I have the same visceral hatred right now for Donald by posting that as if it was against my own child. I've met Kamala Harris, and I want to say she happens to be an incredibly warm person. And to attack a woman who is successful in her own right and to diminish that success by trying to claim that success was only garnered. By the way, he did the same thing to Fani Willis. This is a common theme of Donald because he is, as I constantly say, he is a sexist, he's a misogynist, he's xenophobic, he's homophobic, he's Islamophobic, he's transphobic, he's anti-Semitic. This is who he is. So again, I'm just going to go back to that same question that I asked you a few moments ago. How the fuck is he still even in a race?
No, I'm speechless, Michael Cohen. All right, let's give the two-finger salute. I know you got to go into the convention right now. So two-finger salute, who does it go to? I think I know who it goes to.
It has no choice but to go to Donald for being, again, a fucking pig. All right, let me be very clear. The fact that you, Donald, are a fucking idiot, the fact that you had me go ahead and send to every school from your nursery school all the way to the colleges notifications that they may not release under any circumstances your school transcripts. The fact that your own sister, Judge Barry, called you a dumb fuck a multitude of times, called me up and said, how can Donald run? He's a dumb shit. How is it that every single woman who is successful, all right, who opposes you, who is beating you, every single one of them, you have to diminish their success by throwing in some sordid sexual act? Donald, there's something seriously wrong going on. That is not a winning strategy. In fact, if I was still part of your campaign, which I'm thankful I am not, but if I was, I would say to you, what the fuck are you thinking? All right? Because I'm going to give to you right now what every single woman in this country, what every single man in this country, what every father, what every brother, what every uncle should be giving you right now for that disgusting comment and for the way that you treat all women. Fuck you.
Michael Cohen, keep us posted, please, on all of the developments.
Well,
at
I'm going to be seeing Adam Mokler over at the DNC, the Civic Center. So I'm going to be the United Civic Center. So I'm going to see him there for some live coverage. So people
That's
just
great.
stay tuned to the network, to Midas Touch Network, and make sure you'll be seeing me over there too for a little bit of live coverage.
Just want to remind everybody we have the live coverage all evening, all afternoon, and all evening of DNC Day 2 here on the Midas Touch Network with no interruptions. So make that your main destination for watching, and please tell others about this network. Let's try to make this the #1 most watched feed. I want to remind everybody about Michael Cohen's other podcast, Mea Culpa. Wherever audio podcasts can be downloaded, search for Mea Culpa. It's the blue one right there. Mea
Look, I
Culpa.
want everybody to subscribe so that with my Mea Culpa, which has been a top news podcast literally for 4 years now since I started it while I was on home confinement, Midas Brothers have far surpassed me. And I want to be right next to them, top of the list. So I'm going to ask everyone, please go ahead, find the blue one and subscribe so I could be next to my buddy Ben.
We need to be next to each other. Make sure you subscribe there. Also, subscribe to Michael Cohen's YouTube channel, which is also free, at The Michael Cohen Show. I want to get that to 150,000 subscribers this week, and then let's get it to 500,000 subscribers.
Especially because Sunday's my birthday, by the way. So let's try to make that into my birthday gift.
That would be a great Michael Cohen B-Day present. Also, check out store.midastouch.com for all the best pro-democracy gear, including the Mea Culpa Mar-a-Lardo Correctional Facility shirts and all the other gear at store.midastouch.com. Remember that Mar-a-Lardo Correctional Facility shirt was actually an exhibit used in the trial where Donald Trump was convicted. Cohen was cross-examined by Donald Trump's lawyers using that exact shirt right there. So get your part of your piece of history. And make sure, again, you subscribe to the Midas Touch YouTube channel. I think we can hit 3 million subscribers this week. Let's see if we can get there. Michael Cohen.
That would also be another good birthday present for me. So
please. You see, Cohen, I got the jacket right there.
I see it. I'm loving it. That's right there. That's a Jeff Hamilton original. That's not just any jacket, Ben. That's a Jeff Hamilton original.
It's one of the best gifts I've ever gotten. And one of the other best gifts I've ever gotten is the love and support of this incredible Mea Culpa and Beatdown and Midas Mighty and Legal AF community right here. This pro-democracy community built this network. We're grateful for all of you for building this network. This is the network that you always wanted after being fed up by corporate media. We're in this together. So thank you all. And one way to support the growth is patreon.com/political beatdown, patreon.com/political beatdown. After the DNC, Michael Cohen and I next week will do a Zoom meeting with all of you on Patreon, patreon.com/political beatdown. Sign up if you want to meet Michael Cohen and myself and ask us questions next week. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time. Cohen, get into the DNC. I know you got to get there. Bye everybody. Have a good one.